A powerful story of mentorship and the idea that we all have an opportunity to make the lives of those around us a bit better. So we all know somebody, whether it's a coach, a teacher, maybe who just kept us on track. Last week, we showed the special relationship between Grammy award-winning performance poet, that's Jay Ivey, and his high school teacher, that was Miss Paula Argue. Great name for a teacher. This morning, lead national correspondent David Begnaud is sharing his own personal story about the teacher who became his mentor and then lifelong friend. He says that she changed the direction of his life.
There you are. I think that
It has been 25 years since I first met the woman who changed my life, Josette Cook Surratt. When we first met in 1998, she was teaching English here at Turlings Catholic High School, and I was a 15-year-old freshman. I was gay at a time when it wasn't readily accepted, and I had Tourette syndrome when it wasn't easily understood. It was a lot of baggage for this young kid, but Miss Surratt had a way of seeing beyond the surface into my soul, really.
For me, arriving in high school helped to change the conversation, and it was less about Tourette's and ticking and being gay, and more about, that guy seems to have some talent. That alone just made school easier for me.
I knew he had a wall up, and I saw the wall. I saw the defensiveness. I saw the anger and frustration, and I didn't want that to impede any of the things that he deserved.
The first time I saw Miss Surratt, there was something about her that I was just drawn to. It was the no-nonsense approach that she took in teaching me, calling me on my BS, if you will, but uplifting me in a way that said to me, she believed in me, and I believed her.
Do you realize where we're walking?
Where you had English class.
Yes.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
look, I wasn't exactly at the head of Miss Surratt's class. What distinguished me was my voice.
I sat in the back corner over there.
I remember that you loved to talk in class, during class, to yourself. It didn't matter. You loved to talk. And because you had a nice deep voice, it carried throughout the class. So this was my original team, my charter team, I call it.
As luck would have it for me, Miss Surratt was the head coach of the speech team, and she was after me to join.
I remember you kept calling on me to read. Read aloud in the class, you'd say.
The timbre of your voice was just so natural, even at your age, that I thought he belongs doing speech. And I felt like it would be an injustice for you not to pursue that. I said, the kids are already half a year ahead of you. You got to compete now.
So I did.
Perhaps Mark Twain put it best when he said, snoring is simply sleeping out loud.
And you went with it, probably not totally memorized.
And what happened?
And you took second place. And then you never looked back, and you never did not bring home a trophy from then on. It was beautiful to watch.
That's mine. 2000, second in the country.
But more important than the trophies were the life lessons.
I remember one day something was going on, and you went into that room with me, and you closed the door, and you said to me, "What are you running from?" And it was one of the most pivotal moments of my entire life.
I don't know if you remember me telling you to change your map.
Oh, God, I remember that. It helped me. I remember you saying, if you use an old road map, you won't get to the destination because maps change. Change your road map, David. Oh, it was an aha moment for me. But you know what else? When you said, what are you running from? You know what I heard in that moment? I heard, rather than, what's wrong with you? I heard, what happened to you? And so rather than getting defensive, I opened up. I opened up, and what happened was this conversation where I cried, and I tend to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I think I shared everything with you. It was Tourette's, it was growing up gay, it was having the most tortured, tormented childhood you could imagine.
And my heart hurt for you and for any child that has to go through that, because it should not have to be that hard.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to know there's a better life. There's a good life. Your tenacity then was almost part of the defensiveness, but you were able to take that tenacity and bring it into something that parlayed beautifully for you in broadcasting, which was a perseverance, a determination, a curiosity.
Remind us all of how important adoption really is.
I love to tell stories. I love to make people feel something
It's very nice to meet you.
from that storytelling.
Do you remember what I did your senior year for state? I said, I have a free entry and I am going to enter him in dramatic interpretation because I think he can do the drama real well.
It was a speech about a man who was dying and went through his box of mementos
Right.
to reflect on his life.
I thought in watching you deal with adults mostly, that you could bring that humanity.
What I think made it work, though I had never been in that man's shoes before, I had experienced a great deal of pain. And I always tell people that I can admire your successes, but I can relate to your pain because we've all had pain.
That's right. And you use it now in your work, which is what connects all of us.
When it comes to saying, this is the person who believed in me, what is the takeaway?
That I think every human being needs to know that somebody sees them, because if you get somebody, then you believe in their worth. You get them. It's like that person understands me. And that is so lacking today, that so many kids feel not understood.
I don't know if you realize this, but every bit of pain that I experienced ended up being the ignition fuel that has propelled me to where I am today.
Oh, wow.
I would never want to relive it, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But without it, I don't know that I'd be where I am.
And I think, too, talking about your pain, I think that message for these kids today that have so much of it in their lives is never going to be old, because they need to hear what it can become.
Pain is relevant and it's relatable.
And it can bring beautiful results.
Oh, absolutely. You just got to be willing to sit in it and learn from it.
Right, right. And you did, and it's been my pleasure.
Mine too. Mine too.
And we have become the dearest of friends. Miss Surratt has shown up for me so many times over the years, and I was able to show up for her when she was recently inducted into the National Speech and Debate Hall of Fame. Yes, she was that good of a speech coach. And it was a big old surprise. We love doing those. Miss Surratt marked 50 years of teaching this year, and she will retire at the end of this school year.
It's like Nate said at the beginning, grab your tissues because you've done it again. Of course, she was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I love just seeing the two of you on the swing, just swinging back and forth, really having a conversation. I felt like we were eavesdropping. But I'm wondering, when you're in the middle of working with her or being with her when you were a kid, did you know she was changing your life, or it was only later as you got older and you could reflect? Did you know something special was happening in the moment with her?
I did, Gayle, and I knew because of how much I opened up to her. I had built up this wall for so many years and no one was able to break it down. But when she said, "What are you running from?" It was a question that no one had asked me. It was a finger that nobody pointed, but rather open arms that somebody said, "Hey, come tell me." And so it gave me the coping mechanisms and the emotional intelligence that no teacher at that age had ever offered me. And my hope for all of you watching this is that you have either had a Miss Surratt in your life who you can call and check on and thank today, or you can think about how you can be a Miss Surratt in somebody else's life.
Yeah, David, you know, teachers are doing the most important work in this country. I say that without exaggeration. It's been so great to meet the one who changed your life. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony.